Good afternoon, people. How you guys are doing today? I hope you're doing quite well. I'm going to do as quick as do a video as quickly as I possibly can because I think this is a very, very tremendously important video that I need to do. It's going to be all within my perspective, all what I looked up, and actually, I'm going to share a video with you for the most part about Miss Breonna Taylor and how I think if you're a black man and if you have a daughter or you're on your way to having a daughter, this is Breonna Taylor should be not what the mainstream woke media wants you to think of her. This is what you need to think of her as a man that's raising a daughter or daughters. Okay? I want to make that perfectly clear. You understand me? Well, anyway, before I go any further, this is Dream Big Podcast. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to donate, my Cash App is $ KYSIM as in Mike 39. If you want to Cash App me, donate, or what have you, whatever you want to do. Anyway, this is for the fathers. This is for the real men. This is for actually people that need some sort of answers other than what the mainstream woke media is trying to tell you, making black, and it's very, very upsetting to me because, this could all be avoided in a lot of situations where the black man is protecting his kids, his children, 100%. And if people that's not having him protect them, any case of a scenario is if he's just a coward and he don't want to protect his children, or he's trying to protect his children, and the court system and the mother of that child or children won't allow him to do so. It's either or. This is the main reason why fathers that's actually providers and protectors must be in their child's life, especially their daughters, because with men such as, if we're not with our daughters, it leads to stuff like this. Now we gotta ask people that don't even look at us as victims to protect us. That doesn't make any sense to me. It will never make any sense to me because I'm a logical person. I'm a man of a rationale. I try to be. Then so I'm human, so I could be emotional. But it's important for me to be rational, for me to rationalize things because I have a family to protect. I have a legacy that I'm trying to upgrade better than what it was 5 to 10 years before. So this is very important to me because I have a 17-year-old daughter. I have nieces. I have a niece. I actually have nieces now because my nephew just had a daughter. I have these situations, and I'm really hoping black men will stop looking at the bullshit that they keep on trying to tell us. That's making us what you call victims when other people don't look at you as victims. So this is the reason why you must protect family. You must protect your community at all times. This is why you can't make these bad decisions. Because your daughter might end up like Breonna Taylor when you got it, when we're behind captivity. This is why family, to me, is extremely important. I'm very passionate about this video because it's real to me. When people come to me with this bullshit, this woke shit, this Marxist shit, I tell them to go your way because I'm going to go my way. Because I don't believe in your ways. Because all I see is agents of chaos that don't want no solutions or no nothing. All they want is to place blame on others that they claim that don't like us, that don't see us as victims. So why would we put the mind frame to our children and our young people that we are victims when the now certain non-blacks, even blacks, don't see us as victims. I don't get it. It don't make no goddamn sense. So what that tells me is that you are extremely mentally unstable when you're following behind all of these woke celebrities that's getting paid by their liberal white mommy and daddy. They looking for validation from everyone else. Most of them are colorists. So we're gonna, I'm very passionate about it. Excuse me, you're gonna hear it in this video. But I want you guys to see this video about this guy. He talks fast, but he makes some great points from my opinion. I mean, if you're not rational, if you're not logical, you might want to turn away from this video. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, so let's get this going. Hold on one second. Here we go.
Say he'll hand over power after the election, and Anthony Fauci gets testy with Rand Paul over COVID measures. I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
Before you go further, I'm going to chime in on a couple things. I'm going to try to watch about 15, 20 minutes of it. Less than that, way less than that. So please be patient with me, guys. All right.
Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. My savvy fans secure their internet. Join them at expressvpn.com/Ben. Quick reminder, we have a backstage scheduled for September 29th for the first presidential debate. Yes, we will be hanging around and watching that bleep show, a debate between the Swedish chef and Chewbacca for all the marbles. 5:45 p.m. Pacific time, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. Become a subscriber for special privileges during our backstage over at dailywire.com. We're going to get to all the news in just one moment. First, let us talk about the fact that you could be saving a lot of money on your cell phone bill, like a lot of money on your cell phone bill. Think about all of the money that you are automatically giving to that cell phone company for things like unlimited data.
Hold on one second, guys. I want to erase.
It was the warrant bad. The cops knew the warrant was bad, and they decided to search.
Okay, hold on.
The door. He didn't know who it was, even though they said they were the police. He didn't hear them say they were the police, and then they bust through the door, at which point he has a gun on him, and he fires at the police. He hits one of the police officers. They fire back at him, and in the process of firing back at him, they kill Breonna Taylor, who was behind him. Okay, that is a tragedy, and it's a horrible tragedy. It does not mean a crime was committed. This was a well-predicated no-knock warrant. Even in order to prove there was a crime that was committed, what you would have to prove is that not only was the warrant bad, the cops knew the warrant was bad, and they decided to serve it anyway. And then they decided that they were going to act in violent measures with a bad warrant in order to hurt Breonna Taylor. And you can't prove any of those elements. The lawyers have been saying this for a long time on the Breonna Taylor case. And not just me. I'm talking about people on the left who have studied this case recognize that there was almost no chance of bringing a prosecution in this case. Again, because the timeline just does not lend itself to a prosecution in this case, because the cops didn't do anything criminal here. Just because something bad happens doesn't mean that the bad thing that happens involves violent lawbreaking. Bad things happen every day. That does not mean that the person who was involved in the bad thing is to blame when you are talking about criminal liability. Here's a brief timeline of what actually happened in the Breonna Taylor case. And see, here on the show, we like to talk about the facts of cases because it explains whether people's reactions are justified. I understand that in the media, everybody's reaction to any situation is justified just so long as it cuts against the narrative that America's good. If America is bad, your reaction is always justified. It doesn't matter if Breonna Taylor's officers actually, if the killers in the Breonna Taylor case, accidental killers in this case, if those people got off because they should get off, that doesn't matter. It is instead indicative of deeper American cruelty and racism. It doesn't matter if Michael Brown was shot justifiably. It does not matter if Jacob Blake was shot justifiably. It does not matter if Rayshard Brooks was shot justifiably. None of that matters. The only thing that matters to people who are in the media, apparently, is the narrative that America is bad, filled with racist cops, and every single law enforcement scenario that does not end with a cop going to jail is more evidence that America's cops are systemically racist and that America itself.
We're going to circle around because I want to get to the points that he made. There's a couple points on that situation that he made, but I want to circle. I want to get to it. I watched about 25 minutes of it. That's about, so that's like about, what is it? Almost about 25% of it. So I just want to let you get to the points, point blank.
ex-boyfriend. Jamarcus Glover was her ex-boyfriend. Her new boyfriend was Kenneth.
As I said before, he talked fast, so you know it ain't like you watching it live. You can record it, what have you, as you're watching it. All right.
5 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard. And then a few minutes after that, the judge signed off on the search of Taylor's apartment, which was 10 miles away in South Louisville. Why? Well, because in the affidavit, the officer wrote that Glover's car had made frequent trips to Taylor's Springfield Drive apartment, that Glover walked directly into Taylor's apartment on January 16th. A U.S. Postal inspector verified that Glover did receive packages at Taylor's apartment. Remember, Glover was running a drug trade. Taylor's car had been seen in front of the Elliott Avenue on different occasions. At approximately 9 p.m., Taylor and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, this is not her ex-boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover was her ex-boyfriend. Her new boyfriend was Kenneth Walker, who, by the way, was friends with Glover, apparently. Taylor and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, get home from dinner at Texas Roadhouse and giving a friend's kids rides across town. It was Taylor's first night off after a few consecutive days with 12-hour shifts as an ER technician. They climbed in bed, put on a movie. At approximately 10 p.m., police officers were briefed on the entry plan for Taylor's apartment. Just before midnight, about 45 minutes before serving the warrant, Mattingly said he drove by Taylor's apartment while another officer, Detective Mike Campbell, had an eye on the house. The only thing Campbell saw while watching Taylor's apartment, according to Mattingly, was the light on the TV in the bedroom. Police thought Taylor would be home alone. Inside the apartment, Taylor had fallen asleep watching the movie Freedom Writers, and Walker said he was starting to doze off. At 12:40 a.m., officers were in place outside Taylor's apartment and began to knock on the door. Remember, they didn't have to knock on the door because it was a no-knock warrant. After a few knocks, Mattingly said they began to identify themselves as police. There's at least one witness who said they identified as police. There were other witnesses who apparently said that they didn't hear them identify as police. They had no legal obligation to identify themselves as police. You may not like no-knock warrants, but this is a legal procedure in Louisville. The knocking startled Taylor and Walker out of bed. They began yelling out. So originally we were told, by the way, that Breonna Taylor was completely asleep. She was not. That is only relevant insofar as they did not just shoot a sleeping woman who was lying in bed. She apparently was behind him while she was awake. The knocking startled Taylor and Walker out of bed. They began yelling out, asking who was there, according to Walker, and they didn't hear a response, supposedly. After about a minute and hearing no response from inside, police used a battering ram to knock in the front door. So this is where the discrepancies begin between Walker's account and the police's account. And so Walker says he's yelling, who's there? And the police say we didn't hear him. So maybe they didn't hear him because the door's so thick, or maybe they didn't yell out because he was getting a gun. After a minute and hearing no response from inside, police used a battering ram to knock in the front door. Walker had grabbed his gun as both he and Taylor pulled on clothes and went to answer the door. They left the bedroom. They hadn't made it down the hallway before the door started coming off its hinges. At 12:42 a.m., neighbors in the St. Anthony Garden Apartments called 911 to report gunshots. Walker said he fired one shot at as a warning aimed at the ground, but that isn't true because he actually shot one of the police officers in the leg. Officers on the scene called dispatch to report that an officer had been shot at 12:43. Taylor was struck.
All right, let's stop right there. I know he talked fast, I should say. But again, as I said, you can either rewind it, fast forward, whatever you want to do with my video, please do it. I'm grateful for the support that I've been getting from people, even when you don't, show it, out there, you're showing it through my inbox, what have you. I respect it. I want to let people understand and notice. When I say how Black men should protect their daughters, protecting their daughters from men such as with Breonna Taylor had a history, because I'm not blaming the victim at all. It's a shame that you got to keep saying this, but it's the world we live in, and we're living in a bunch of people with a lot of mental issues that you got to be literal. You got to be, put perspective on it. You gotta say allegedly. You got to say all this stuff, and I will say it. So. I don't want to, you don't want to speak of what you want to say and things of that nature. So what I want to say before anything, that this is why our kids, the fathers, when you have a daughter or a son, but especially a daughter, you have to understand that most of these young men are not being raised by real men. Okay? So a lot of these young men, more than likely, won't have your daughter's best interests. So if you guys think a man has, the daughter's best interests, like in situations like this, you're bugging. But she won't know that unless she has a father that's going to teach her these things, and that's going to show what a real man is. You got to show. You can't just tell her what she needs to know. You have to show her specifics each and every day on how a man's supposed to react to certain things. Okay, you have to always protect your family. But when when you know a situation where you're not living in the right lifestyle, and I don't even want to go with the facts on what they said, what she was doing, what was going on. This is stuff. This is not alleged. This is actual things people was investigating for over a year because they've been getting raiding people. They got her ex-boyfriend, and I'm pretty sure he snitched on the new boyfriend. The new boyfriend, they had problems and all this other stuff. But at the same time, who was in the middle of it? You cannot, this is why I tell you guys, you cannot ever in your entire life get your information from this super liberal media. Y'all be saying, why you keep on saying? Because it is. Because they are the ones that's making it bad for especially people that have no strong family values, such as Black Americans, that we look to them as for information when they're giving us the wrong information. When you get this information, when you start to realize, when you start to look at, researching yourself, having knowledge of yourself, you start to realize like these people are lying to us. These people are making us as victims to the people that we specifically think that don't make us victims. They're supposed to be our oppressors, but we still waiting for these certain people to look at us as victims instead of saying to ourselves, we must understand and stick together. If we can't even stick together, at least stick with your children so they won't grow up making bad decisions. If my daughter got killed by the police, and I know her history of dating men that might not have her safety, number one, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to be crying. But at the same time, I'm going to say to myself, where did I go wrong? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be saying that. I'm going to say to myself, I shouldn't be surprised, but where did I go wrong? I'm going to get a quick segment on the situation with my grandmother used to tell me, my mother passed away very, very young. My grandmother used to tell me she was so sad, she cried and everything. But the lifestyle she was living, she said that she was preparing herself for the worst. It don't even have to be a situation where you're not living that lifestyle and something can occur. But it's even more of a chance, a huge percentage that when you're living that lifestyle, something will happen. Something will occur. And we're not, and I hope, and there's men out there, I know there's grown men out there and women that think rationally, telling their daughters, this is why I tell you, if they reading this information, if they want, because we're going to make Breonna Taylor a subject of, because the mainstream media put her out on the forefront. The super liberal, feminazi, Marxist, mainstream media put her out on the forefront. So we're going to put it there. Being as though shit like this happen in Black community all the time. Our daughters, even a lot of women, when I was living effed up in a way that I didn't put a woman, I didn't protect a woman as I should. And it's not because it wasn't drugs. It was just that, I was trying to, I wasn't taking it serious. It wasn't, I was a kingpin or what have you. It was because I didn't understand the value of a woman and what it means to protect a woman and a child. Because I wasn't raised like that. I was raised in a matriarchy household. So again, as I said before, my grandmother was very sad when my mother got killed. But it was and you know, but she prepared herself for the worst because she knew the life that she was living. So she prepared herself for the worst. That's exactly what she said. I knew the life your mother was living, so I prepared myself. I cried when it finally happened. But something in me knew that this was going to happen someday, so I didn't take it as hard as I would have took it if I had a child that was doing what she was supposed to be doing and staying away from people that was trouble. So fathers and mothers that's rational and listening to this video, damn what these super liberal Marxist celebrities have to say. Damn with them. Damn what these media, these freaking super liberal, feminist, Marxist, globalist media have to say to you, because they don't feel that, they don't even feel, this liberal white mommy and daddy don't feel that you a damn, what you call, that you a damn victim. It's with us. It's with us. Who are we protect? What are we telling our children when we talk about Breonna Taylor? What are we telling our daughters when we talk about Breonna Taylor? Are we telling our daughters stay away from the police? Are we telling our daughters to stay away from these males that don't see you, that's not protect you, that's not their first priority? Or are you saying, or you like, if you like me, you saying it for both? You make sure you're in the right place at the right time at all times and know your awareness, so you never put yourself in this situation. Because these wokety wokes, they say a bunch of things about white folks and non-black folks and this and that third, and they devils and this, but these are the same people that are looking for them to change. How are you looking for your enemy to change? They're not going to change. Are you going to change? Are you going to switch it up? Are you going to take better care of your family by protecting them by all means necessary, mentally, physically, financially? Are you going to do that? That's who you should be worried about. Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to donate, cash at me, $ KYSIM as in Mike 39. And this is the rest of the video. And I just want to say rest in peace to Breonna Taylor and a lot of young women that's in a situation that you shouldn't be. Get out of it. Please get out of it. It's not cool to be in this situation. It's not cool to be in a situation where the men around you don't value you as they should. You know? But anyway, again, rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Peace.